Holt. So with me now is the author of the Mental Health First Aid Act. It's a man who, of course, has firsthand experience in dealing with gun violence, Arizona Democratic Congressman Ron Barber. Congressman Barber, walk me through your legislation, and if you can, how you think your legislation could have at least helped connect some of the dots for the various warning signs that were there with Alexis.
I would like to do that, but first let me say, Chuck, to the families, the survivors, and also the families who lost loved ones, I really am heartsick, and I send my condolences and goodwill to all of you. I've been there, and I know what's happening in those families right now, and I just want to make sure they know that I'm thinking of them and sending my best wishes and prayers. As far as the legislation goes, I believe that if we can inform first responders, teachers, and others who may come into contact with people who are exhibiting mental health symptoms, if we can inform them and make them more aware of what they're seeing, what the treatment options or available services are, and know how to de-escalate a crisis, I believe we can minimize, at least to some degree, the dangerous activities of people who go over the edge, as apparently happened on Monday. In the case of the Tucson shooting, we know in hindsight that the shooter was displaying serious mental health issues for at least 2 years. His parents, fellow students, the administrators at the college, the police at the college all saw something, but they never put it together. The Mental Health First Aid Act provides training across the country to all of these first responders and others who might come into contact to give them a better understanding of mental illness, what they're seeing, and understanding what they're seeing, and knowing how to get someone into treatment. And that's really the focus of the bill. It's gathering a lot of support both in the Senate and the House.
Right.
I'm very hopeful we might pass this bill.
You know, it seems that if there's ever a roadblock when it comes to mental health, it always comes to one word. The word is privacy, right? Yes. What is the line here between, what kind of power do outsiders have in sort of forcing somebody who might appear to have some mental health issues to get the treatment that they need?
Sure. Well, what we do know is that, at least in Arizona, and I believe it's true in many states, if not all, a police officer who responds to a situation where they feel the person is displaying symptoms of a serious mental illness that might lead to dangerous activity, they can take that person for at least a 72-hour observation by a professional in the field of mental health. That could well lead to a desire or the need to have that person in treatment, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. And I think we need to make sure that our first responders have a lot more information about what they're seeing and knowing what to do about it when they see it. I mean, this is not a panacea. This is not a cure-all by any means. We have a lot of things we need to do to prevent gun violence in this country. But I believe we need to focus a lot of attention. I think we're going to get bipartisan support for attention on mental health services, expanding and making early identification and treatment more available.
Right. Well, the bipartisan support appears to already be there. I mean, we saw we know what happened during the entire Manchin-Toomey debate and the different amendment processes that were done. It was for a similar bill to what you were calling for, and the Senate got, I think, some 95 votes.
Yes,
now, Senator Reid has said he wants to link anything on mental health because it has broader support with an effort on the expanded background checks. That may be your preference, I don't know, but do you want to not see your bill passed if it gets tied to the gun control, the politics of that, and then your bill doesn't pass? Is that a failure?
Well, I certainly don't want to see the mental health bill in the House or the Senate, for that matter, go down. I think it's important that we go forward. I also believe that expanded background checks are an important part of the answer. You know, we have 10 categories of people in this country, including people who are seriously mentally ill and danger to themselves or others, who should not be able to buy a gun. And as long as we have loopholes or gaps in that background check system, people can, with those illnesses, get a gun. So we need to deal with that too. If they're linked and they go down together, that would not be a good thing. I hope we can get the mental health bill through. I also hope we can see background checks expanded.
Do you want to see them go separately then?
Well, if that's the way we have to go, you know, the leadership in both the House and the Senate are going to make their decisions. I know from the leadership of the majority party in the House, my sense is that they want to have a mental health bill or package, if you will, of bills, including the one that I've proposed, to go forward and probably not deal with the background check issue. I mean, that's where we stand. I think we have two different approaches in the two different chambers.
All right, Ron Barber, Democratic member of Congress from Arizona, a survivor of a mass shooting himself. Congressman Barber, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much, Chuck.